The following film is presented in its complete theatrical version. It was rated R by the MPAA and may not be appropriate for children under 17. Viewer discretion advised.
Have you heard anything from NOAA recently?
Yeah, they told me that they received a sound 3,000 miles off the coast of South America. And by the looks of this email, they really want us to listen to it.
Alright. You mind opening the file?
Sure. Give me a second. Here it is.
What the fuck is this?
The sound of the hydrophone just picked up.
No. I mean, what the actual fuck did I just hear?
What did it sound like? Was it something that they misinterpreted?
It's like, how do I describe it? A call from the most deprived, awful, horrible creature in all of existence.
Satan?
No.
Who?
That thing is even more demented than Satan.
Okay. What are you talking about? Scott? Scott, this really isn't funny. Drop the act already. Scott. For Christ's sake, snap out of it!
This is an emergency bulletin from the San Clemente Police Department. A riot has broken out recently along the San Clemente beach. In addition, the rioters have been seen breaking into property, making the inhabitants leave by force, and throwing them into the sea without any explanation. Due to this, all residents of San Clemente, especially those living near the coast, are heavily recommended to remain indoors until the rioting comes to an end. Should a rioter break into your household, use any type of force to ward them off. Should the situation become drastic, then you are permitted to use lethal force. Attempting to join the riots will have you arrested and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Please remain tuned to local media outlets for the latest information when it becomes available.
Begin with breaking news at this hour, where dozens of riots are currently ongoing throughout the majority of southern Orange County. These have originally started in San Clemente and have spread up north in many coastal areas. So far, areas that have ongoing riots include San Clemente, Dana Point, and Laguna Beach. What we do know, though, is that these rioters have been taking people out of their residence by force and quite literally throwing them into the sea. Additionally, break-ins have been reported by multiple businesses and residents. Shelter-in-place orders have been issued for the areas previously mentioned for the safety of all civilians. This situation for now poses a minimum threat to the general public, but that could change over time. Regardless, citizens near coastal areas need to take shelter indoors until the situation is over. If you are able to lock yourself in a secure and safe room in your home, and if the situation escalates, you may need to use it, but for now, stay indoors and only go outside if necessary.
miss a brand new X-Files tonight at 9, 8 Central on Fox.
This is the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Mass violence and riots are currently occurring near coastal areas. These may include, but are not limited to, Huntington Beach, Newport Beach, Laguna Beach, and Dana Point. Avoid coastal areas and shelter in place until the riots have settled down. To repeat, avoid coastal areas and shelter in place until the rioting has settled down.
On New Worlds, you have learned much.
You'll find them full of surprise.
Active emergency situation in Dana Point and southern Orange County. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Orange County Emergency Management and the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services. A large explosion has occurred in Dana Point, north of Quetta Place. Safety of all citizens is at risk due to a large fire originating from the explosion. At this time, all residents of Dana Point must evacuate the area immediately. Residents in the neighborhoods of Lantern Village, Del Obispo, and Dana Hills, you will be given special evacuation routes through officials to avoid the spreading fire in your area. Your life is in immediate danger. For mandatory evacuation routes in other neighborhoods or areas, call the Orange County Emergency Management at 714-628-7085. Do not use telephone lines for any purpose except for learning your mandatory evacuation route or other emergency use. Once you know the mandatory evacuation route for your area, immediately evacuate through the route. Do not attempt to carry or recover any items, even if valuable, with the exception of essential items such as water, radio, and medicine, and only if you can do so safely. If you cannot do so, officials will provide you with essentials. Stay tuned for more information when it becomes available.
With the Vortec engine in a Chevy S10, you can go around the world 4 times before you have to...
Evacuate immediately. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Dana Point Police Department, Orange County Emergency Management, and the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services. All those living in Orange County are ordered to evacuate. Due to progressively increasing military activity and the increasing aggression of the multiple riots throughout the coast, it is no longer safe to remain in the county. The direction you must evacuate is determined by your location. Those north of the coast must evacuate eastbound to northbound. Those residing in northern Orange County must also evacuate clear as given. Please remain tuned for more information when it becomes available.
So a report made by the Governor's Office of Emergency Services was leaked today, and I hope I don't face scrutiny for this, but what I found may possibly explain why these riots are even occurring in the first place. In the report, it said that many religious leaders, particularly Christian leaders, have said that the thing that influenced people to throw people into the sea is one of the princes of hell, known as the Leviathan. As described in chapter 41 of the book of Job, the Leviathan is a sea creature, primarily a serpent, made up of impenetrable armor like scales, and has the ability to breathe fire, similar to a dragon. At first I was skeptical about this claim, mainly because nobody, let alone I, would believe that this thing could exist today. That was until I stumbled across a satellite image that changed my entire understanding of this event. In the image, it shows what looks to be a large sea snake stretching from Avalon in Santa Catalina Island to the city of Tijuana in Mexico. I couldn't believe what I had seen. The idea of a straight-up monster influencing a whole crowd of people to throw unsuspecting civilians into the sea now had become a possibility. I want to make it known to you right now that I myself am not a man of God, and I, matter of fact, am agnostic. But this, what can you even say about this? I have no form of explanation for this, other than it being the Leviathan itself.
State of emergency for all of California. This is a message from the California state government and the Governor's Office of Emergency Services. An emergency situation originating in Orange County has forced the state to initiate a public state of emergency for the time being. This is the result of multiple violent riots and fires near various coastal areas. From this point until the end of the emergency is declared, Orange County will be blockaded. Nobody will be allowed to enter, and nobody is allowed within a radius of 2 nautical miles near the coast. Those who remain in the county and still need to evacuate may exit but are subject to examination. Military presence as well as Coast Guard presence surrounding the county will begin momentarily. It is in the best interest of all parties for you to cooperate with both the military and Coast Guard. For those outside Orange County, no action is required. However, the state government and the Office of Emergency Services advises all citizens to be on heightened alert at this time in a situation of an escalating emergency. As previously stated, this is an indefinite measure. This will only be cleared by another statement from either the government or the Office of Emergency Services. When an all clear is given, another alert will be sent to all citizens. Thank you, stay safe, and remain vigilant.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I have called this press conference in order to state my thoughts regarding the recent events that took place in Orange County. These events were some of the most terrifying and confusing times, not only in the history of California, let alone America, but perhaps in the history of the entire world. On June 1st, 1997, at 7:40 a.m., a riot broke out near San Clemente Beach. It first started as regular peaceful protests, but in mere seconds turned into riots as the rioters forcefully took people outside and throwing them into the ocean far from the shoreline. This, ladies and gentlemen, was only the beginning. By June 2nd, the rioting spread further up north, all the way to Huntington Beach. It continued to be the same violent actions towards unsuspecting citizens. That was until the afternoon of June 3rd. At 2:45 p.m., an explosion occurred approximately in the intersection of Puerto Place and Dana Point Harbor Drive. It is with a heavy heart that I must say that 7 people have unfortunately died in the explosion. To make matters worse, not 2 hours later, another explosion occurred in Huntington Beach, this one killing 14 people. Looking at both the Dana Point and Huntington Beach explosions, the death count now stands at 21. On top of that, the majority of the people who were thrown into the water have drowned, which brings the death count to now 143. "143 people. Just what can you even say about this? There aren't many words a person, let alone anyone, can use to describe anything like this. It's just terrible. What else can you say? Frankly, I can't even begin to imagine what the families, the victims, or even the town is going through. It's not grief. No. Grief is an undermining of what everybody is going through. I've seen the destruction caused by the explosions. Almost everything near it burned down. The level of devastation is unlike anything, let alone I, have seen in our lives. That is the stuff one would see in World War I or World War II. Not many words here, ladies and gentlemen. This is a time where we all need to come together in support of the people in Southern Orange County. In prayer, in funds, in reconstruction, and in any way possible, these people need our help more than ever. That is why I, the Orange County Judge, and the Secretary of Homeland Security pledge our full support to restoring the Southern Orange County coast. Today, the state of California is united more than ever. To those affected by recent events, we want to be there to help dig out, to help provide when people are suffering, and then to help rebuild. This is one state, and we will stand united to make sure that we can lift our families back up. But please know that there are families that are in desperate need of your prayers. Prayers to help them through the grieving process. Stay strong and stay safe. Thank you. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.
Coming down the rain, I'm on fucking cup. You know I'm fucked up, and I'm coming down book. Rolling with that stick in the fucking jag. Ain't gon' even lag, and we gon' brag. Coming down the rain, I'm on fucking cup. You know I'm fucked
Yo, you lagging? Nah!